So apparently, it's artificial intelligence refers to development computer systems. Someone mentioned that that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. Then they go on to break down a few things, but they do not mention a few things. So what AI is, or my understanding of AI is, it is an artificial intelligence. I know they're not supposed to answer a question with a definition, with a name inside a definition, but it is a problem-solving, decision-making system that uses information that it has gathered from various sources to make processes that humans used to be specifically known for faster. Yes. Your hand was up? Okay, cool. Faster. Yeah, so that's what AI is to me. And I feel restricted by the definition. Why? Because we've met AI before in many different ways, I believe. And that's why I'm not a fan of describing it using like the academic statements. But at least we get to understand it. And I've seen people answer in the way they understand it in their fields. For example, Emily, who is a voiceover artist, and how she uses Grammarly, and also how Julian has explained it, and how she uses it for Midjourney. So I'm curious to hear how others use it as well. I'll share how I use it eventually.
Yeah, I think we can just dive in. What are your personal experiences with specific AI tools, and how have they been beneficial to you in terms of your workflow? Have they made it harder? Have they made it easier? Yeah, like let us know, and what challenges have you found with it as well? Don't know.
So first off, yes, there was a question you asked earlier about challenges of AI, and I wanted to ask if any of you are afraid of AI first. Afraid good, afraid bad, afraid general. Are you afraid of AI? You are. Why?
Well, I mean, just looking at AI itself, looking at the different branches of science, there are some to do with robotics. That is really helpful to help people who are lame. But there is the other side of it that makes people lazy. Now, that side, I look at how people can be lazy as regards creativity, and it kind of like cuts out the human intelligence side of it, where someone, rather than you trying to solve a problem, you allow something else to solve your problem. And it's becoming, of course, that's the side of self-awareness. Yeah. So you realize that what are the limits when it comes to science and technology? There is no cap where you'll be like, this is enough. You still need a human being to be human being, and you allow robotics to be robotics. So, I mean, there's so many cases in even films where you see, I think,
Which
guys
film?
have
Can you name a film?
Yeah?
Can you name a film?
Yeah, The Creator. It has just come out, The Terminator.
The Terminator, The Creator, yeah.
You realize that there is no cap or control over AI. It's just, hey, I'm having something new, let me put it out. But at the end of the day, you realize that it's replacing his job, their job. And that kind of AI, I'm sorry, I'm really afraid of how we are going to be in the year 2050. So it's not something that I really welcome at all.
I like that. I like that. I have a question. Are you a friend? Do you believe AI is a friend?
I feel like AI is a friend, and also at the same time it's a bad thing. Yeah. So my answer is subjective. Yeah. Okay? I just want to say a little.
What he said, yes.
He said, okay, let me just quote. He said he was afraid. Even me, I was really, really afraid the first time I was trying out AI. Okay. Because I felt like instead of me actually thinking about this, it's actually making me lazy, and my idea is actually not original. But after me using actually AI, I felt like it's it's adding up. Like you get a few ideas and then you actually add up on yours. So it's a bad thing and a good thing at the same time.
Okay, nice, nice, nice. So last year I was talking about AI at a particular sitting similar to this, and I then was telling people, because the questions then were simple: is AI going to take our jobs? Yeah, they were simple questions. Is AI going to finish us all? Will we, as artificial intelligence increases, will human intelligence reduce? Things like that. Those were the questions. And they still are. By then, I was telling guys, and this is what I said, and I quote, there is a video of me saying this: AI is not replacing your job. Rest assured. Right now, if I don't think I can say the exact same thing, but I still say AI is not replacing your job entirely. So this is what I have to say about my experience with AI. First encountered AI in the movies, of course. Terminator, I didn't know what it was then. I just thought it was robots in general. Then I got to understand the concept of artificial intelligence as I did my course, which I did computer engineering. And then I was like, okay, but no, AI is very, very far away. Why? Because it's in there and we are out here doing things physically. We have bodies. We can do this, right? However, you've noticed that most of the industries are now shifting, and what our minds make matters, right? We are here at Agandi Studios, and whatever creative thing comes out of our minds actually matters. We pay for IP, intellectual property. We get paid for intellectual property, sorry. So if I come up with an idea, I can cost it, right? So now what happens if there is a machine that can come up with ideas? Yeah. We are now, should we pay it? One of the questions we have right now at Next Media where I work is, if I write an article and I used Grammarly and ChatGPT along with 2 other AIs, should I put it in the byline? Should it be this article was written by Kanere Mugume plus ChatGPT? You know? I don't know what you think. You'll tell me. You'll tell me. But this tweet was tweeted by Clifford Mugera and Grammarly, or Write AI, or Write Sonic. Because we've reached a point at the office where we're not, I would say we're addicted to AI. Each one of us uses AI small bits and pieces. Our whole creative department had to adopt to AI earlier in the year. So by Women's Day, we were doing artwork from AI. Why? Because we sat down and were like, wait, we've seen what Midjourney can do, where we subscribe to a tool that has a gallery of images. And every time you go there, you find the same. You've seen billboards that have this Nigerian man who is a doctor, he's a lawyer, he's a priest, you know the model I'm talking about. Yes, Free Peak, Shutterstock. Very, very sorry, guys. We use those tools. So Women's Day came, and with what? Oh, no, it wasn't Women's Day. There was a family. It was Easter. And we were like, well, we need to celebrate Easter, but we have no photos of African families eating together. So the challenge to the creatives was simple. Sit down and see how you can prompt AI well enough to get very good representations of an African family eating together. And then we'll see if it flies for our different brands. And they delivered. They made some really, really good artwork. And it looked nice, I must say. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. I don't know if you guys can look it up if you follow any of our pages, but I'll be able to share those. I usually have them somewhere in my huge gallery. And you let me know what you think, if we delivered on task. So we try to introduce this to our clients, because we handle clients. And the clients were like, ooh, wait. They asked us questions. They were like, well, so who owns these images? You know, because models have, copyrights. So when it comes to an AI model, who owns this image? Will the AI come back later and say, pay me my money, I'm on a billboard, or I have been posted? So these questions, the ethics now started clicking to us, like, oh, we just can't, we have to think about this thing. And yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting journey. So we are still on it. We are still figuring it out as we go. But we are also doing our best to embrace it. Why? Because just like any other point in time where technology does a thing, where it jumps, you have to jump as well, or else you'll be left behind.
Okay. I'll speak about also my personal experiences with AI. I personally first encountered AI, of course, the smallest, simplest things that we usually forget, the phones, you know, a simple call, a Word document, a game, like those are all AI programs. Word, by the way, typing, it's also an AI. You know, even the simplest and simplest of things such as autocorrect. But sometimes I think for us, our understanding of AI is like, you know, some intelligent being that should solve a problem that we can't solve, you know, but it's in the smallest and smallest of things. So what's my experience like? I In terms of graphics side, I think one of the biggest to me has been Midjourney. Same thing as you mentioned, Women's Day, because if you go to Free Pick, if you go to Shutterstock, if you go to iStock, like all those places, you know, yeah, get images as well. You'll find the same images. That's why you'll find that Unilever is using the same image as Movit, you know, because they can afford to pay for the image, you know. You get the image and they have the rights. So I saw that as a challenge. So to try to solve that, even currently in my workplace, I try to use a lot of AI models as well, because, you know, there is I would say there is less, like the randomization of AI makes it very hard to generate the same result twice for certain things, when it comes to images. They can be similar of some sort, but it's very hard to get the same image. Like even if you repeat the same command, it will always give you a different answer. So for me, that has been my experience. Am I scared about it? I used to, but then I think at the moment I've reached a point of where I'm like, you know what, this thing is here to stay, just like revolutions come and go. So you either have to learn how to conform to it and, you know, adapt, and or else you'll be thrown out. You know, like, let me mention, I don't want to mention a name, Kodak. Okay, let me use the camera brand Kodak. You know, Kodak is very well known for making films. But back in the day when Sony was trying to make mirrorless cameras and all those things, they're like, no, you guys, you know, we are still on film and stuff like that, you know. Like now, if you look for the company anywhere, they are almost, you know, gone. Actually, out of the market, I would say. So it's very good to be very adaptive. Try to learn as much as you can, whatever you can. There are very many AI tools that we can use in our workflows to simplify our workplaces and stuff like that. So my question to you would be, what tools can a creative use? Not okay. Creative is very wide because we are all creatives. So, but what tools can some of you name? I have heard Emily say Grammarly. I've heard Julian say Midjourney. But then I would inquire, what tools or what ways have you, like each of you or some of you, employed AI in your workflows, and how has it been like in terms of your workflow? Is it destabilizing you, and or is it making your work more efficient and all those things? Yeah, I would love to start with you.
My name is Brian, and the things I've used ChatGPT as I use it as a consultant in case I get especially a project that I do not know how to execute, or is something in a field that I've not been exposed to. I would consider it as a consultant and ask it questions to the details of every bit of question that I have in line with how do I execute this. And it always gives me very random answers, but then I keep on querying anything that I don't understand. And at the end of it, you'll find that you extract information enough for you to get a proper structure of how to approach something new that you're doing, or something that was strange to you becomes familiar. Yeah.
For me, I also use ChatGPT a lot because me and Vicky are in the field of content creation. So when you're in that crunch time of come up with content calendars, come up with captions and whatnot, it usually simplifies work. So to answer the general question, if it's a friend or a foe, for me, I think it's a friend. In the long run of things, I don't know what it will do to us, but for now, it's mostly helping us a lot, especially me.
Hello, Joseph Lubega Chita is my name, and I just wanted to supplement something on what Brian said. I remember, I think like 2 months back, I got an email from someone over from Switzerland, something like that. They wanted me to do product pictures for some toothbrush, and also do some videos, some Instagram reels for them. Everything seemed so professional. I read through it like to the dot. I even consulted some friends of mine, even a lecturer of mine, and everything looked extremely, very legit. But in the process of creating one of the documents that they required me to take up the job, I felt stuck, so I consulted ChatGPT, and I had to put in everything. So this is when actually this whole entire system realized there was trouble somewhere, something that was not balancing well, that we all didn't see. And when I asked them, they failed to reply me then. And that's how I survived. Yeah. And actually, I was supposed to buy that product myself. The product was about, I think, like $150. Everything seemed so professional, very, very professional. Yeah, and that's how I survived, thanks to ChatGPT.
Fish. Oh. Wanted to ask you as well, what AI models have you used in your workflow?
Grammarly.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, maybe, okay, aside from Grammarly, I use a lot of ChatGPT and then also writing emails. Gmail doesn't have it, but there is an email thing called Blue Mail. It generates for you the email, yeah? But one thing I have learned in my field is that AI will make you stupid or like a bit lazy, like he said, especially if you're relying on it 100%. It makes you to, like, you stop thinking for yourself, yeah? But writing script, writing copy, coming up with content and all that, I've realized that you have to input, like I was telling him and Eric, you have to input something into ChatGPT. You don't just go. I think the mistake most of us creatives do is write for me an email talking about this and this and this, and then you put it and ChatGPT brings for you. Usually that's why I think things come out plain. It doesn't have like an emotion to it, just because even it's not emotional. So it will just put out for you something. So as content creators, we are supposed to do things that have emotion to it, that, can touch someone's heart. So first sit down. They tell us at work, sit down, think, write what you imagine. Say the script is going to be, or how you're going to shoot, what do you want? Write it down. So when you're putting it into ChatGPT or Grammarly or whatever you're writing, whether you're writing an email, you have a picture that you're giving ChatGPT. You're not just telling it to do for you all your work, yeah? Because when you do that, you're the one they are going to replace. Like the job, they're really going to replace you. So put it, write it, come up with something, and then you input it into ChatGPT, and then it will help you correct what needs to be corrected, but you also have a foundation of something. So it can be a friend, but a foe is when you just put it there. Blue mail.
Do not give her that. Do not. Okay, just to add in a little bit of what she said, there's a reason why you're called a creative, to create, not to allow something else to create for your sake, yeah? There's a very thin line between asking for help and allowing something else to solve your problem. There's a very, very thin line. And I think when you asked me about Grammarly, it's basically using it just for correction, but you realize that the thought process itself comes from you, yeah? Yes, you can change a sentence using Grammarly, but without changing the meaning of the sentence. That's what you use it for. Just some sort of like small assistant, but not that thing where like, okay, I'm out of time, so let me give it something else to solve. Before you know it, after 2 years, you'll be more of a doer than a thinker. And that's the most dangerous thing I've seen with, I have nephews who are now getting versed with phones. And one thing that I keep on sharing with them about even the phones that we use, can you know the limits where you can just either use a phone for 1 hour and interact with people for the next 5 hours, or even just think for yourself, yeah? So again, I'm not in for AI. I know what you guys have said. It helps if you don't go on with the flow, you'll be left behind. But let me tell you something. I'd rather be left behind and I become so different from any other person than going with the flow because I just want to move with everyone else. I'm losing my identity if I just go with the flow. What makes me special is because I can think totally different from any other person. So I can't allow any computer-generated thing to replace me. So that's why you are special. I don't know if I'm making sense, but...
Yes. Fish is making a lot of sense. So let me just raise this question to Clifford. Yes. So what ethical considerations ethical considerations should we take as creatives when deploying AI in our workflows? Because AI is such a sensitive topic that, some people are afraid of their jobs. Some people use AIs and then claim that the work is theirs. You get? A very a very famous photographer once asked me, did you take that picture? Did you get an f1.2 lens? And I'm like, no, I used AI. I used Midjourney to create this. So what challenges can arise from use of AI, and what ethical considerations should we use in our workflows when deploying AI? Yeah.
Okay, wow. Oof. Very hard question. I wanted to answer the other one first. It seemed easier, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll answer this one, and then I'll go to the other one because I have answers for all. So I think that every trade has the thing that's important to it. I would say for creatives, the thing that's very important for creative is authenticity, level of creativity, depth. There are a lot of those metrics. And when you break one of those, you lose credibility as a creative. So for a creative, the goal is to maintain credibility, because I will stop interacting with you as a creative once I no longer consider you credible. Some industries, like, let me say, if I told you that the guys, Sam's Crisps. Yeah, so I was recently on an AI panel with the executive director, the founder of Sam's Crisps, and was explaining how they use AI in the processes of enhancing and making the crisps better. And I was like, what do you mean? I listened. What do you mean? Yes, so it depends. It really does depend on the industry. That's where the challenges come from. For him, it will be how much information he's picking. For creatives, I believe authenticity is a very big part. So owning up to or stating that you created something solely, because creatives, it's how high your creativity skill levels are that make you the thing. Oh, okay. I don't know why it turned on the light, sorry. Yeah. It said we needed to throw more light on what I just said. So yes, now that I am throwing more light, yes. So for example, a painter will like, oh my God, this guy hand-drawn with time, this is such exquisite skill. And then an AI will generate that image, and then I'll say, I'm the one who painted it. You're like, you're lying. Oh no, oh my God, you did really well, but you didn't do it, so you lose credibility. Don't do that. I asked the question earlier, what do you think us as writers of the news should do when we write articles, but we use ChatGPT to help us do half the research? Because we use it heavily as a research tool, then Grammarly for correcting grammar as well. So should we write written by Canary Mugume and ChatGPT 4? What do you think?
Use ChatGPT but make it your own.
Okay, use ChatGPT but make it your own. Now, as I'm about to answer the different challenges that come in, I want to talk about something called prompt engineering. Some of you may have heard it. Yeah, you've heard of it. Have you guys signed up to do any of the free courses yet? Yes, they are free courses. Please get a certificate, become a certified prompt engineer. There's also a fully paid course. I recently met a lecturer from the University of New York, and she teaches that, and I was in shock. I was like, this is very interesting. I don't know if my degree still makes sense, but yes, moving forward, the challenges that you're going to face as people in the creative industry and as people who are in any industry really, you have to know how to use AI. You have to know how to use AI to come up with good work. We still want good work. We don't want substandard work. We don't want substandard content. We don't want automatically generated content. We still, as human beings, want to see good things. So what will make me choose David? David over here, over Brian or Emily or Julian or Fish? You know, what will make me choose? Because now you're all using AI. So it will become how well you use the AI. So this is the thing you now need to add on to what you're already doing. And that's where you need to learn. That's the new thing. That's why all of you should go and learn prompt engineering. I'm learning as well. We started internally to go through these free courses to see how will we get better. The first thing that taught me how to do prompt engineering better, because I was using ChatGPT, and then I met Midjourney. And Midjourney could give you like 4 variations. And with every prompt, you could have like a different set of things you're seeing. But then again, you had a limit to the free ones. So like I was like, now if I over-prompt it with fake prompts, I'll run out of free trial. So I had to get smarter and think, okay, I want to see an African with the oil painting style of Leonardo da Vinci who is wearing a T-shirt, but the roads are maram. I started adding in more descriptions. My prompts got more intricate. And then I realized, okay, this is what makes the artwork that will come out of my prompt better than the artwork that will come out of Eric's prompt. So yes, the challenges we're going to face, we have to learn how to use AI to a level of mastery. We will not stop creating, but now we have to accept that AI is a co-creator. It's a co-creator. Just like other technology, people use technology to bypass things like financial limitations. Like right now, the phone versus the camera. Same discussion. We're facing a thing called mobile journalism at the office. Those cameras are not cheap. So you can't start a TV station unless you have those. But now guys have full YouTube channels that have never seen the light of day of TV, but are earning from their YouTube streams and advertising on there and the content they create. Some of the adverts you see on TV now are shot on iPhone 13. You know, we shoot some of these things. We have a lot of cameras. We run out of cameras sometimes because there's a lot to do. There's a lot of news. This country is going through a lot. I'm sorry for all of you. But sometimes we need to create content that needs to go on TV, and we find ourselves shooting using the phone. This is where we are with AI. You'll find a small company that does not have a creative director, a copywriter, but because the owner knows how to prompt well, will find themselves slotting into the same pitch. You know, you're pitching for the same client now. You know why? Because they have this boost and they know how to use it very well. So, have I answered the challenges bit?
Very well.
Hey, okay. Can I answer the other question? No, I'll answer it later.
Answer it. Okay, I'll love to ask the house, what challenges have you faced, in trying to deploy? For me, one of the challenges I faced was, I would say that most AI models or algorithms don't truly define our culture as us, like as a Ugandan or as an Itesot or as what. If I ask it to give me a script with Luteso names, it can't. You get? So for me, that has been like one of the challenges, that I don't feel like it's tailor-made for us. Yeah, it works, but I mean, like, when you think about it, sometimes, like, last week I was on a panel and the guy was like, what will a person in the village or a farmer use AI for? You get? So for me, it is culture, like how can we okay, my question is also how can we, make it reflect or show more of our cultural representation? Like if you ask it our history, it could barely give you anything. It will basically give us what it knows, and most of the things it won't really. So what challenges have you found, when using AI or deploying AI in your workflow?
Hello everyone. My name is Sevagala Simon Peter. I'm an architect, and well, in my usage of AI, I've realized that it has these fast iterations that it gives you, and with that I find this challenge of the attachment with my work. Like I don't know if you guys also face it, but sometimes you lose that touch and that attachment to the work, plus that management of iterations, since everything is happening so fast. So it's really hard to control it. On some cases, I've heard that it does that, that it has cognition and it learns. So with that, I think maybe it would learn from each and everyone, slowly by slowly, even like the farmers out there could make it learn. But what I would suggest is maybe we also try other platforms that are non-censored. For instance, you might find that it's collecting information from YouTube, from all this audited information, then it brings it out. But like when you go to TikTok, TikTok doesn't have information that's censored. When you have that information, maybe you add it in, it could help. But for one, that's my challenge. Thank you.
As we wait for someone else, I'll give another challenge. For me, mine is privacy and data. Because recently, a friend of mine told me he went to a certain country, I won't mention the name, but at the airport, he was asked, where are you going to stay? And for how long? So he told them the person and where he was going to stay. But then he also told me that this country has a lot of surveillance, like the cameras and all that. The surveillance is really so good that if he hadn't gone to the lift of that apartment that day, could have been kicked out. Deported. Yeah. So you can imagine how private or how our data is just given out just like that. You arrive in a country, they know what you're doing. They probably hear, sometimes what people do, if you get your phone and you just speak, let me say, shop camera, shop camera, shop camera. The ads that you'll get will be tailored to that. So I feel like they do listen more than, they do listen a lot. And sometimes I don't feel safe. He was complaining that, he came on a border, then his phone just went to D&D mode. But it's because I think these phones here also realize that if your speed is changing too fast, you're on the road, probably you're driving or you're riding. So to just put your phone in do not disturb, which is kind of good and safe, but at the same time, how safe are we? Because you can easily track and know if a phone knows that, every night at this time to this time, this person is in this same place every day. This must be where he stays. So when you reach home, changes to personal mode. If you're at office, every time you reach office, you're like, when did my phone change? This. So for me, that is one of the challenges. Yeah, I see Carl's with the mic.
So for me, I think I'll refer from Fish and her. I feel like the aspect of emotional intelligence with AI is inversely proportional. So I don't know to what level we shall reach, but I don't see it happening anytime soon, where in our creative space, there's a lot of emotions. And if I don't show that, and I'm expecting an AI to do that, I think I'm going to lose some of the clients. I'll take an instance. I won't prompt an AI to show me how to pose someone. Yes, it could give me ideas, but then there's an aspect of touch and maybe making someone feel comfortable before the shoot happens or before anything happens in terms of if you're dealing with people. So I feel like the challenge it has, it's not yet to a level where it caters for our emotional intelligence. That's the challenge I have.
Okay, I'm going to use this opportunity now to talk about the current capabilities of AI. Yeah, I realized that we went into surveillance. It was quite scary. I realized that you started preaching doom, and I wanted to preach the glory of AI. So, so yes. First off, AI is not new. We've seen this. We've interacted with lesser forms of AI, all the way from the autocorrect that we used to use back in the day. But it has also reached new heights. ChatGPT came in February for us publicly. Though they have been collecting information from 2015 and we never knew they existed. So as I jump into this, there are things that we need to be cognizant of. Number one, who is making the AI, or rather the products that we use? Most of the AI came out of research from universities and other bodies that were trying to understand information, automate or create a service that could better our lives. So they used particular data sets of different regions. Some of the data is picked from social media these days. Back then it wasn't. It was only Google information. I advise you to use BARD over ChatGPT when you are trying to reference anything cultural, but still it's not yet learned enough because they still pick the regions and they still pick languages. But categories of AI. So the first level of AI, the lowest form, is interpretation, the AI that helps you interpret from speech to text, from translation, from autocorrect. This is where the initial phases of Grammarly used to lie. These days it has changed because most AI is advancing. So there are things like natural language processing, knowledge and rules refinement, general computer vision. That's what they used on your friend over there. They just like mapped his face and then just started looking for him. Pattern recognition, object detection. That's the lowest form of AI. We've had it for a while. We know how to use it. It's nice. Interaction. This is the one where we started realizing AI comes alive. Things still natural processing, language generation. So Google Translate. Real-time recommendation and coaching. So Siri and Alexa. And then computer vision, gestures and expressions. So like do this, take the photo, those kinds of AI. Then with the level where we are now, the AI that helps you create. This is level 3. So we have producing text, creating images, creating audio, creating ideas, and providing information, so research. That's where most of us are spending our time. Now, this is the scary AI. Operations. This AI controls digital processes, investment algorithms, stock markets, heavily using it, manipulation of objects and information, so deep fakes, guidance for mobility, so drones that are manned by AI, scary again, and then full mobility, the autonomous driving vehicles. So a robot dancing to a piano on TikTok today. It was the scariest thing. And then the last level, the highest level, decision making. So aided decision making, autonomous decision making, and productive inference. This is the one that they're using at SUMS. So AI does have different capabilities, and where we exist on this it should help you decide if you should be afraid or not. Of course, the reason I mentioned who is making this AI is you should understand how much money goes into it. So if a terrorist had enough money to fund making an AI project, we should be very scared. Very, very scared. Oh, sorry. But if a government, oh no, I'm done. Yes, I've stopped there. But if for example, GZ started making their AI, we would be very excited as creatives, right? We'd be very excited as creatives. So I just wanted to drop that in to make our conversations a bit more.
Okay. Honestly, I feel like sometimes we get scared with the fact that we could easily be replaced or something like that. But I still feel at the end of the day, I look at all these tools like a normal Photoshop back in the day. If you would cut someone's image, too bad. You get. Or so imagine this as a photographer. Imagine if you just look where your iris is, the focus goes. Man, life would be sweet. You get.
Crazy.
Yeah, life would be sweet. Life would be easy. Or or imagine as a sound engineer, as even if someone shouts, the compressor will work. If I speak low, it will up. Like, I don't have to worry, Or, as you take your pictures, they're being backed up on Google, so you won't have to worry about to lose the client's pictures, So for me, at the end of the day, I see them as normal tools that we can use. But then how we use them is very important. I think it's also very important not to let AI make soulful decisions for us, Like if an AI is, okay, my scary part about the driving bit is that what if someone hacks that car and is like, bring Emily to Gulu. Emily is going home, the car just brakes, turns, locks, and speeds to Gulu. You get, it could be worse. But like knowing how to use it rightfully and not making it make full decisions, but use it as a tool, and also where we use it, when we use it as well, like we should be able to make the sole decision as you as the creative. Like if, and with most of these AIs don't have emotions, and that is where most times they're easy, like it's very easy to catch someone is using, an AI generated thing or something like that, because they don't have emotions, they don't have, that humanoid feeling is not there. For them, their answers are really pretty much straightforward, like here, and this. Like last week, I tricked ChatGPT with the question that, if it takes 3 hours to dry 3 towels on the line, how long will it take to dry 9 towels? And it told me it would take 9 hours. You get? It's very linear. It thinks like, yeah, it's wrong. It's very wrong because it's the same time. The same time it takes to dry 1 towel, it's the same time it would take to dry 9 towels. So if it thinks that drying 9 towels would take 9 hours, clearly you should check. You should check your content before you yeah. It's not intelligent, eh? Yeah, so right now we're going for a short break, and then we shall return. And then once we return, once you have some questions, you can fire them, then we shall proceed from there. Yeah, thank you. So that was the first session. So we'd basically say the first session helped us basically understand the whole grasp of how things are, and how AI has been used in different places and all that stuff. So this session, we're going to just try to make it a little bit more practical and just try to see how we can benefit from AI. So we're going to ask you what, a few questions, and how we can and we see how we can deploy AI in our workflow. So I know Fish doesn't like AI, but I would love to hear what your field is, what your workflow is briefly. It may not be like entirely in details, and what challenges you have faced, if you have. But then we'd also just try to see potential ways how that could be made easier, it could be made lighter, it could be made faster, if possible, if you can. Yeah, so shall start with you, Fish. Okay, okay, I could ask you, so briefly you could tell us what kind of industry you work in, and what your workflow is, how your workflow is. Just
Mpola.
Okay. Mpola.
Mpola.
Yes. What your workflow is, like how you do your thing. Like me, a photographer, do I just wake up and just get the camera and go for a shoot, or I always have a plan? Be like, when the client books, I first scout for location, I ask them what their dress code is, I find out their colors, try to create a palette, that kind of thing. As an animator, what is like your work process like, and what challenges have you faced in that process? Okay, what's your field?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just a filmmaker, man. I do videos.
You do
From the Ugandan perspective of, he's a cameraman. I've heard you do videos, so yes, I do videos.
You do videos.
Yes.
Okay, and what's your workflow like?
Generally, when you look at the first thing, it comes back to idea generation. That's the first important thing. What is the idea? Why am I producing it? To whom am I producing it? And do the audiences, or does the audience even want what I'm producing? Yeah. If I answer those questions, then I will know if to proceed or not. Because in most cases, people always, I have an idea, I want to do this, but do your audiences actually want what you're producing? That's one thing we don't want to actually factor. So when I answer those questions, then I can start with creating the content itself. That's if it's a personal project, yeah? I create the content in a certain way that is customized to a specific customer in a specific channel, yeah? And then from there, of course, the production process starts, yeah? But if it's for a client side, I get to reserve some of the processes for me. Why? Because every single company has its own way maybe of working, yeah? Sometimes you realize that a company can only pay you after 60 days. You've had something like that, yeah? So I can't start asking for budgets very quickly. I can't ask for some specific things, but understanding exactly what a client needs and why he needs it, it's very, very important. So like I think I mentioned this a few months ago, that not every client is your customer, yeah? So when I ask specific questions to a client and he's not direct or he doesn't give me the answers I need, sometimes it's good to call it off and to just proceed. But if he gives me the data I need, it's okay for me to just start producing the content in terms of the scripts that I needed, and then the production process, of course, proceeds from there. But as an animator, one of the biggest challenges that I've seen is the tech is moving so fast, yeah, that we are in I don't know why we are called a third world country. By the way, I've never understood that, yeah? Because we have all the resources, but just we think that we're a third world. I don't know who ranked these things anyways. But generally, I realize that the so-called first world countries dictate the kind of technologies we should have right now, yeah? And that kind of like causes a lot of pressure for animators, even filmmakers, where they launch a new PC and all of a sudden we think we should have it. They launch a new camera. Hey, where's Munje? Come back, sir. They launch a new camera and we think we should have it, yeah? And I keep on telling people what is important is not even the tech that you use, it's the idea you have when you're executing the vision that you have, yeah? That's what sets you. I can use my phone, like he said, to film, which I've actually done it a few times. I've shot my own commercials at home, etc. And just try to test to see if the ideas are good. Some of them, you are like, man, this thing was actually garbage. Some of them, you're like, okay, I think I can wait for a client, or I can go and pitch an idea here that can get me the results I want. But I realize that because of the fast-paced technologies that we have, we are always sort of like in a rush that we should get, we should get the new Adobe 2021. We should get yet in actual sense, even Adobe 2018, you can't even use half of it. But we always feel like we should get advanced tech. But now the challenge is it becomes so expensive where for you to execute, let me say, an animation using an old PC, of course, it becomes a little bit harder. Why? Because, let me say, like Adobe becomes a little bit heavy. I'm not a tech guy, by the way. Yeah, you're here from here. Cool. First, come and sit down here. So you realize that the industry is always forcing you to, or maybe it's putting you in a corner where if you can't have this, you can't survive in 2023. Yet, in actual we've seen this, accessing the new tech is also a little bit harder given the markets that we have. So you'll find me using Adobe still 2018, yeah? But I can execute the animation way much better than a person who is using 2023, yeah? But of course, like basically technology is the biggest challenge that I've seen, yeah? We are always, if I'm having a production pipeline with my friends, you realize that they're in 2023 and I'm in 2018, so I'm forced to actually have 2023 to push the process a little bit faster. So I'm like, man, are we just moving because the world is moving, or are we moving because we have to move? Yeah? So, I mean, that's one of the biggest challenges that I've seen. But of course, secondly, we don't have a lot of animators also in Uganda. I realize that, man, it's a hardcore thing. It's not meant for weak-minded people. So for someone to really learn a software, etc. and all that, to push on, you just have to commit a lot. And because of, again, AI, people want simple things, yeah? Yeah, so you are like, man, can you model this? Can you just create this from scratch? No, you want something that is already generated online for you to make the things easier. But you see, you lose identity. And like I say, what is a thought? A thought is something that you generate it from your mind. So if you allow something else to think for you, are you really a creative? So, I mean, an idea is always generated from your mind or some other thing's mind. Yes, you can use AI for, again, man, my negativity. You can use AI to help you do things, but do not allow it to think for you when you're birthing an idea, like the genesis of an idea. Don't allow AI to think for you, to think an idea for you. I don't know if I'm making sense. Yeah, but that's basically it.
As David gets his question, okay, for me, I think one of the, in some of the challenges you've addressed personally, some of them, yes, are like largely dependent on, problems such as hardware as well. And just that, that we don't have the ability to have more guys, animating and all that stuff around this country. But I think for me, to a greater extent, I feel like also AI has made it easier for us to learn certain fields with ease. No, it may not be like very deep, but then it depends on someone's curiosity, how far they would go. Like if I wanted to ask it about the cameras, I'd be like, okay, what is ISO? It would write for me what ISO is, What's that? But it would basically help me learn certain fields that, that I'm not well versed with, at least and have some knowledge, then learn more with different platforms. I'll let Mr. here.
Hi, once again. I've noticed that I should have come like wearing white and you came wearing black, or vice versa, so it shows we are on the opposite end of this guy. But no, I recently met someone who also was very skeptical about AI. I was on the same panel with him. He was a writer, but he was talking about two things mainly, and that is number one, the principles, understanding the principles of things. We were addressing university students by then, and the biggest question there was, I'm a student, I'm learning, will I just need to ditch everything and just move with AI? And the thing is, because they were asking us, would we still employ them if we had AI? And we asked them, well, as long as you understand the principle, that's what we're looking for always. No matter what tool we're using. AI at this point in time is a tool. It's like a camera, it's like a phone, it's like a car. It's like a space. It's like a software. It's a tool. So back to tools. You mentioned one of your challenges is one of the things is people have upgrading to newer versions of things, and yet you're working on a collaborative project. Yeah, back to the principles and systems. So maybe the conversation here that you need to have is not even going to be solved by AI, by the way. It is agreeing on a standard. Agreeing on a standard. And that agreeing on a standard means the minimum requirement for this type of animation is this. Therefore, you don't always have to be struggling with the files they send back to you. So this standard, this is now the part where I use AI, is getting the information you need to make that decision of the standard. For example, the animation that we want to put out, it's going to be watched in these particular areas, on these particular platforms. It needs to be at least this level. I don't know how many frames per second. I have no idea about these things. But you can do research that can then support your decision onto the standard you agree on, and then you stay there. Because you'll always have people joining the team or leaving the team. You can even start simply. What's the most common, what is the lowest Adobe suite install that you can have, and that has minimum requirements for this type of animation across this particular region. Hey, I'm messing up the words. It's okay, I'll get the words. For this particular region that is used by freelancers, industry experts, and people who are studying from home, University of YouTube, like most of us. And then it will give you this, then you'll make your decision, then you'll agree on a standard. That way, for the next 2 to 3 years, your team is working with something that does not always have you converting, no matter how high they go with their things. You'll tell them, hey, now even you who is using the latest thing, you're not conforming to the standard of the work that we're trying to output. Because what we're trying to output is of a particular standard. But you can still use AI for research for your team. I hope that helps.
After Effects.
Oh, yeah, I have. Oh, and I stopped using it. I stopped using it. Oh, there's a question from the answer. Okay. Go ahead. Question.
Hi. Question to Fish. No, Fish is the fish in the pond now. Yeah, so I've been with a bunch of creatives like me, and sometimes we think AI is making things too simple. So my question is easy bad or good? I do paint a lot. And then a painting someone spent 3 months doing, someone does it in 6 hours. And it's still the same. I'm just asking now, in the category of AI, being that it's compressing your work process, something that will take hours ideating, maybe you're not in your element, and then it's helping you come up with, helping you frame that idea well, and then makes you produce it in a very short time period. We as creatives, question goes, what is wrong? Is that easy bad? Because sometimes I feel like we feel it's not good for that something to be so easy, So is easy good or bad?
Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Makobi. So for starters, let me just make this clear. I'm not a fan of romanticizing suffering. For starters, yeah, I've always said if the other person like goes through a lot of hassle to get something, and then you're able to get it like an easy way, like, man, go for that. Like, there's no reward for suffering. But it takes away. My point is just own the whatever it is. Yes, easy is not bad, but then if you're let me just use an example to explain what I want to say. So imagine there's this guy who has gone to a graphics design class, right? They've learned about, fonts, hierarchy of information, what they want their readers to see first. Like, they know all that stuff, right? And then they're introduced to AI, but because they've put in the work, like they've practiced for all these years and stuff, that AI is just going to like just be an addition to their expertise. It's just going to make things easy for them. Then there's us, who want the easy stuff, right? You have no idea what fonts to use. You have no idea how to organize your information and whatnot. Then you're also coming and saying, man, I used AI to design this. Then what? That's my point. Like, you need to understand some things first. Like this thing is just supposed to be like an add-on. It shouldn't be a replacement for you, for your expertise.
Yeah. And that is where I say that, you should not let AI make the sole decision for you. You're in control. You decide what you input into ChatGPT. If you put garbage in, you get garbage out.
Brethren, let me...
Brethren.
You asked about is easy good or is easy bad. I think it's very relative, because there are some things that we need to actually simplify our works, especially when you have pressure. And there are other times when you're using something because you're just lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you can't really know the difference, then you have a problem. That's a personal thing.
Yeah.
I have used AI before. What I've always advocated is do not allow it to think for you, because if you allow something else to think for you, you become replaceable. And then after a while, you start thinking, why are you not getting clients? Why are you not doing what? It's because you've just allowed something else to think for you. So you can use whatever technologies you have to simplify your work, but the idea itself, if it can be generated from you, it's better for you, because that makes you completely different from any other person. That authenticity is what we're looking for. That's why we are called creatives. So you can use something simpler, AI or whatever, to make your work easier, but the thought pattern the thought is generated still from you.
Yeah.
So that's what I can say. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah. Okay, let's just get this straight. It's just to simplify our workflows, not to do for us the work. So, when we as artists work with others, there's what we say. When I have a photo shoot, let me say, Makobi has been dressed by Nino. I'll be like, dressed by Nino. This done by Josh. Makeup by Fish. So the thing is, it's just a collaborator tool. No. So the thing is, okay, in Fish's workflow, what I would say, the opportunities I would see. Okay, both. Anyway, that you like. But okay, in Fish's workflow, the opportunities that I see personally in deploying AI are, one, if it is rendering, you could use internet servers, basically, to use other guys' PCs to render your work. Make it easy. There's the guys who are using AR now, which is augmented reality, to create, rigging. Because, rigging, just like a hand motion like this, is really quite difficult. But if you have your model, of which I do believe that by the time you do model, and your skill set is really very good, like just this additional skill of just pointing your camera and you're like, okay, you call a dancer like Gideon, because Gideon knows the moves, he'll flip, he'll do what, you're like, man, just do your thing. He does that, it is already recorded, you're good to go. That, like, for me, that's the kind of like application of AI I'm seeing. That helps you to be more efficient and deliver more work promptly. It's not that it takes away your creativity, but because you've directed slow-mo, what moves to make, it hasn't really made for you a decision, I feel like, in a way. So at once, at the end or now? Okay. There's an idea here, an exercise.
Okay, hi guys. I'm very curious, but I've really gone back and forth with this creative discussion, and now I want us to test it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to well, we're not holding hands. We're not going to hold hands physically. Anyway, we're going to use AI to do that. Now, we're going to split into 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to split into 4 groups. No, 5 groups. 5 groups, and we are going to help a writer. I need a writer in this room.
So we shall do this. We shall do the groups, but then we shall do this at the end as we conclude, so that it's more helpful. Yeah, you can hold hands. So right now, the next person I'd like to ask is Slomo. Yeah, his name is Slomo. I would ask Slomo what his workflow is, and what field you are, and what challenges you're faced in your workflow. Yeah.
Thank you, Eric. My name is Gideon Slomo, dance artist, interior designer. First, before I go there, in line with him, if you remember the time of megapixel, it came by and most photographers took it on, and it was really up there, and they made good money. Time came, right now, you can hardly do the same, and you want to see the reality and so on. So, as technology advances, let us take note of not killing our crafts, because it's for the long term. So at times we take advantage of the technology, but then we kill the skill set and so on that we have. Nowadays I've adopted a word of Ugandans. We don't like to cook, we just like to feed. Like, is iPhone 15 out? Yeah, I can make a film with it. But then, in a way, whatever comes up, we are like, let's jump on it. But then when time goes on, we don't keep up. Yeah. So, in interior design, many friends of mine have told me to use applications, etc., of how to make interior design easier. Or if you just feed in what you want, I want Mediterranean style or minimalist style, living room, and so on, and then they give me several, and then I choose. There is a lot that comes with your expertise, and then your observation, your listening to the client. I'll give an example of what he said, what your friend, what you go through, like when you board a border, and then your phone mode changes. Like, there's a lot of data your phone collected that you didn't even know. That's why it's so surprising. So it's the same thing for interior designers. When I come to you, I'll study your stature, your style, your likes and dislikes, what you tell me, what you won't tell me. I'll measure the room. But at times when you don't do the same to the AI, if you don't feed in all that data, you won't get as much. So when you do like 10 projects, you have almost the same work. But then if you so much invest in your physical whatever you put in, like your efforts to the work, what you bring out, it will be alternating over time. Yeah. So that bit of it is the same on Pinterest. It's just like Google, you type in something and it brings you this thing. So Pinterest, many designers use it. Like, they just be like, I want this and this, I want a coastal furniture, etc. And then they just forward to the client. Yeah. But then when you do go to the Pinterest, collect those ideas, pick 1, 2, 3 ideas, put them together, maybe develop your own 3D of the product, then share with the client. It will be more vivid than what you got there direct. It's the same thing, just like the emails. Yeah. So for me, it is more of investing in your expertise, make research, practice, hands-on, experiment. AI won't experiment for you like physically. Like it will, in a way, many people are driven numb because they are always here. Like I design, but I ran away from this. I'm not so much on computer. I don't own a computer. I don't own a computer. Yeah. So my investment is in being on site, executing. If you do 3D, I'll give you your money. I'll give you what I want. I give you measurements. I talk to the client, make the payments, and then I come on site, execute. That's where my interest is. So this drives us so numb. Yet the people out there that introduce the software as AI to us, they are way beyond. They've developed animations back then, and now they're saying AI is here for you. But they've been using the thing, you get. So if we don't take note of such things, like they will always run over us. They'll always be like, iPhone 15 is here. Kumbe, like, even your Pixel, the old one, can do something it does. So let us be invested in our skill set. Let us learn. Everything is around. In dance, we are still safe. Yeah, we are still safe. Like you want me to come. The thing is, you won't get my emotions. You won't get my physique. Like it won't flip like me. I got the name slow-mo from a flip I was doing as if in slow motion. So you won't get that from the robot. So that's where the advantage is. So when you're physical, you beat a lot, even to the client. Like as you talk to them, they won't mind your AI in the back end. Yeah, but just play your AI smart. Boom.
Hey, just to add on something, please. Has anyone watched any documentary called The Age of AI? Yes. Yeah. When he's talking about dancers, if you remember the first episode where there was Will.i.am, yeah, it tells you a lot about how far AI is going to go, because Will.i.am said this. The AI that was generated like his face, it really sounded like him. Yeah? And the guy said, I don't want it to be as perfect as me. You know why? Because I want my mother to differentiate between AI and me. This is a guy who just brought himself and he said, man, I want you guys to use my voice to see if we can generate another Will.i.am. Yeah? But you can imagine how, again, when you say about how scary AI can be, yeah, how far is it going to go as regards performances? Yeah? Today you think the stage is yours, like Slow-mo, we are grateful you're still around. But tomorrow, we don't know where virtual reality is going to reach. We don't know how, there's cases I think of right now bringing the old artists who died back on stage. Yeah? You get the old school guys who really died. So you can imagine, tomorrow, are you still going to be the authentic guy? Yeah, so I don't know, man. But you need to watch that documentary. It's very scary, by the way. It just shows you how far AI is willing to go. That's why I said, man, tomorrow it can replace you, yet you're there lazy, thinking that you're irreplaceable.
But like, if we look at it in a probabilistic way, we still have this urge in us that will search for the human touch. So there is this version of us that is going to actually fight the AI, and we shall stick to our old ways. So I think that version of us won't actually be replaced. We shall yearn for it, and we shall still be relevant in that.
Now, just a quick one.
Yeah.
Are you realizing that people are already emotional about their phones?
Yeah.
What does that tell you about their attachment to technology?
Well, that's there.
Uh-huh. So 10 years from now, where will we be as regards technology?
Yeah, but there is also this other this other part of people who actually really, like he has stated it, he prefers to listen to even what is not talked, or like to listen to those senses from their clients, okay? So there are people who actually are going to prefer to do things the old school way. I wouldn't love to draw with the pad. I would draw with my paper and pen. So even when those 10 years come, there is still that version of us that will stick to, and we shall, to the tradition, and we shall still have our clients, our people who also prefer that touch.
Now, as we evolve in time as regards technology and AI, you realize people are always going to look for something, as he said, something easier to solve their problems. So at the end of the day, it's either you get the guy who you can attach yourself with, or you can use AI that's going to solve your problem so fast where your emotions are not going to be part of it. Please watch have you watched The Creator?
Not yet, I haven't.
Okay, please
wait.
I mean,
Emma has a comment to say.
Yeah, sorry, I've been dying. Hi everyone, I'm Karama, Emma. Yeah, I wanted to react as soon as Slomo finished speaking, but then Fish came in and yeah, but we are pretty much saying the same thing. My simply what I want to say, if we're to drive back, say 50 years from now, don't know if that makes sense, behind 1960 something, yeah, or whatever, do the math. Yeah, if we're to have such a discussion about the possibility of technology disrupting many things, I believe with, not to judge, but with the mindset say most of us are having, would be like, man, they can't do that. I can't be here and communicate to someone in America. It's impossible. But what these guys are doing is that they are thinking. So if we have that mindset of actually everything is possible, approach the entire thing with that, everything is possible, then you just realize it is possible. Because when Slomo was talking of dancing, I remember I watched, it was sort of a podcast discussion of a photographer or photographers, and they're talking about, this was 2019. This guy expressed his fear, they lost a contract that was paying them good money, because that company discovered the possibility of modeling models from Cinema 4D, and instead of hiring different models to try on dresses, they were doing everything in Cinema 4D. And a whole list of people who are getting money was kicked out. If you had to ask someone, to get what I'm saying, I don't know, but with the mindset of it's possible, I believe anything, guys will come dancing, AI things will come dancing, and we'll be we didn't see this coming. So my entire thing is approach it with that open mind. Anything is possible. Everything is possible. Yeah, that's it.
And that raises a very valid thing, because we sometimes don't accept the truth, but the honest truth is that we can't continue living in denial. So that makes it very hard. Just like Slomo stated, anything is possible. But one of the most important things that you see he tries to do is collect data with verified data, tests and preferences, feeding the data that he knows the client wants, is able to get a desirable result as quick as possible. He'll be you want it like this. He's you go and measure, do his stuff, pays someone who needs to model, or a person who needs for that, but in all, there still remains people who have the skill set, which is more important as well. Because most times we often get carried away letting the AI do for us everything, but the AI won't go to the carpentry workshop. Yeah, I know it can carry wood, it can cut down trees, it can do what, but then there's certain touches that you need as a human as well to inspect, to see, dispatch. You get. So I'll go on to the next person, James. Okay, James. Okay. Brian.
Hi. Okay, that is what. Hi, guys. Yeah. This is David, and I want to talk about how AI has helped me in my workspace. Apart from an artist, I'm a brand strategist. So we use a lot of AI. Yeah, but let me just pick out one, ChatGPT, and how it has helped me. I think that's why we're here. Okay, so I'm just going to, it's practical. This is what we do. I'm just trying to pull out one of the practical things we do at work. So this is what I feed into the prompt. The name of the business. This is the name of the business. This is what it does. This is its competition. This is the competition. This is the purpose. I'm doing this for those who are saying that if you use AI, you might lose the emotional touch. It's a lie. It's a lie. Verbal. Okay, I want to explain why. There's what we call verbal identity. If I say the word, I love you, and I text it, sometimes we say it doesn't carry the same emotions, right? Yes, but I'm asking a question. How are you, since M10 and Airtel are not people, how are you able to differentiate between Airtel and M10? No, leave alone colors. Leave alone colors. Have you seen the adverts? Yeah. Are they different? Yeah. Why do you think they're different? How they speak, right? Words. That's what I'm saying. So, the work that I do, we are deliberate about how we speak, because even those adverts are written down. So, I've fed it in how we speak, the archetype, the architect of the brand. I've given it the competitive analysis. I've given it the vision, the mission, the core values of the business. I'm writing them down in the prompt, you know? And then this is how we communicate. We are emotional. Maybe we are lovely, if it's a lover brand. And then I ask it, if at all I'm making an advert or a sales pitch for this company, how would my sales pitch sound like? Try this. It's going to use the information you gave it to come up with a sales pitch. So we use the sales pitch and we edit it, and it's sounding like that company. If I prompted it with other information about another company, if you look through my phone, I have one for one client, another one for another client, another one for another client. But when they give me a sales pitch, in case I want a sales pitch, it will be different for all of them. Why? It's because I've just fed it information. It's not getting outsourcing information anywhere, no. I've just given it an enclosure. You're getting the thing? I'm giving it a boundary. The emotional bit. Expression is human. But I was watching a documentary where biomechanics has met human intelligence, whereby now robots, okay, or humanoids, have almost a texture of the skin. They can speak as us. You've seen those that speak like human beings. In fact, if you found it, you might not realize that it's a human, but it expresses with compassion because it goes through machine learning. These are things you're worried about, but they're going to happen. They can also express love as you express. As a mother, they can raise kids. Later on, we're going to see those advancements. So, however much you run from it, it's coming. Whether embrace it, oh yeah. I'm just being a devil's advocate.
Okay, that sounds very much like a quote from a movie about AI, where the AI you may want to run from it.
It's coming. That is RoboCop. Typical. The guy dies.
Yeah,
you know,
but-
the guy dies and comes back and solves his own case.
But truthfully speaking, I'm just completing. Truthfully speaking, when electricity, actually, why am I going very far? Elon Musk. When Elon Musk talked about a touch screen where we're going to be sliding on the screen, people called him mad. When electricity came, after invasion of electricity, the Orthodox killed all the lights, that it was disrupting God's creation. He had created day and night. But right now we are using it. Cars came. Let me tell you, technology causes disruption. Love it or not, but it comes anyway.
Thank you. Okay. That's good.
Joseph is my name. Joseph is my name. Good evening, everyone. Well, mine is going to be a little bit quick and a little bit on your side and off your side. One, I fall under many hats as well. I do brand strategy, I do video, and I am an experienced decorator. So I've been doing decoration for like about 10 years now. But yeah. No, we started when we were young because my family has been doing that business for quite some time. Yeah. Fish, what have I done? Yeah. So, Slow-mo, I feel the kind of energy you put in. Actually, I love what you do. The fact that actually you go do the things yourself. I am that kind of person that wants to go and I make sure that I do the boardwork myself. I seal up everything with the stickers. The flowers are done well. I feel that, you know that joy, eh? That's the same thing. But when I joined design school at that field, it changed the whole entire game of how I actually do my decoration. The way I started speaking to clients and was so different. And then I haven't really used AI into my decoration, and I don't know how it works, but with decoration. But I feel like the reason, the sense of accepting this new kind of technology makes you look extremely very professional and makes you work faster. We all agree, right? But one problem I realized is people see you as a thug sometimes. You may speak things and people are like, does this young man really do these things? Because the big man is still fighting with low-paying clients. I don't want us to pretend like as if we all have those huge paying clients and on. And, you know, but I should say, hang in there, but try to come in a little bit. Try to come in a little bit.
I'm just playing it safe for slow-mo. I believe as creatives or creators, we have something special. An example, I'm just throwing it here. For anyone who's spiritual and follows God, there was something in creation that God did. For the first 6 days, he used to just say that can happen. But when he was creating man, let me first preach. So I feel like he came down to every detail of creating man. There was emotion carried to it. So as any creator out there, yes, AI is coming. It's going to be easy, it's going to be hard, but that bit of creation that God also expresses in his creation, we can't get it from AI. I believe, I'm just backing to David's emotion and what. Just look at the creation story. You understand what it means to be a creator and why he had to sit down with other people around him to make man. That's why I think for creation and AI for me. I don't know if it has answered my question.
I always love how conversations about technology and AI always end up becoming conversations about humanity. It's a very lovely thing. It's always there, and maybe that's because we humans are the ones who are using these things. So even the next thing that comes after AI, we'll discuss them, and then we'll go back to discussing how human we are. And I just love that about this. Now, interior design. No? Decorator, interior design. Right. Wow. You guys, I'm very curious about your versions. You are at Atfield. There's someone who's teaching interior design and AI there at Atfield, right? You don't do interior design at Atfield. You did motion graphics, but there's someone who is teaching it. There's a lady from... It's you. Hey. There we are. There. Okay. Okay. So, in that case, then Slomo has the answers. Thank you. We're looking very... So, Slomo over here is going to tell us how you... Can use AI in your decoration, because you haven't yet tried it yet. Slomo, what do you... No, he knows. He knows. Why? Because it's all about the principle, yeah?
Okay, not having a computer doesn't mean that I don't know what it has to do. Yeah, I just take my role and then other people do their role. So in decoration, there are very many trends that come up. Even as we talk, some do come up. Yeah. So I think in line with research, in a way, just like his work flow, fish, there's research, there's as you start to design, there's ideation, and then putting all those ideas together. That is a point where there is a lot of processing of knowledge and so on, whereby you can borrow the knowledge of a computer. It's just like when you're designing something in SketchUp, and then you go to the internet, and then you download a model, whereby you pick whatever design or item that you want to put in your design. Yeah, so I think at that point of ideation, you really can use it. And then also our phones, I think there's an application whereby you can, for interior design, you can take a picture of a space, and then it gives you several different ways you can manipulate the space. So I think you can also do something like that. So you get several different suggestions, and then you put them on table, and then you borrow an idea from everything, and then you make one masterpiece. Yeah.
And one thing you can notice is that it helps you as well cut down costs in terms of trying, as designers, the client doesn't know what they want. You can end up doing 10 posters and the guy is like, I'm not feeling it, and you don't know why. You get each one. You get, but all that saves costs. If you go and you're like, you know what, this is your sitting room, right? Okay, so project 1, we can do this, this is how it will look like. Do you like it? It's like, the color, yes, the table, no, the chair, You're like, okay, there's this, there's that. That saves you time and cost. If you think about the production cost, that if you had to do everything fast for a client to approve, it would take a while. But if you're able to do this efficiently, quickly, you come up with conclusions faster. It's not like you've let it. Remember what Slomo said in the beginning. You find out what the client wants. Use that data to customize through the AI and create some options. Of course, you, as he mentioned, you have to give very great detail of description in the style of Da Vinci, in the style of a famous artist. Like, if there's a photograph I can describe, we all know if we speak of black and white photographs of presidents, we're speaking Platon. If I say take a picture of President Yoweri Museveni in the style of Platon, it will be that style, because it has been trained with that data to give references, and it knows that in this person's style, it is this. But look at it also this way. It's not that your creativity is thrown away, but you're able to experiment and do certain things that you can't really do personally, or it would take a lot. Like, what time will I get to go and photograph the president? I don't know. You get? Yeah, you had the question. Oh, you answered. Okay. So I guess this is the time where we have about 5 minutes left. This is where we shall do the challenge that. Oh, yes.
Yeah, so hi everyone again, once again. When Eric at the beginning you mentioned something to do with, I think you're asking for the challenges we face, and you're saying how it's not like tailored for us and all that. It got me in the solution thinking phase already, and I was like, if this AI guy is picking information from the internet, I don't know if you've been seeing on social media some fat kid running with different things. Chicken, a woman is, yeah. So I believe creating some kind of, let me call it database for the thing to pick from, of like our experiences of such stuff. I believe now if I'm to go and say prompt something to do with an African kid, maybe it's going to have more information to give me something I want. If I want to prompt something that has like atapa in it, yeah, okalo or anything, like it's from, remember I'm talking in terms of solution phase. If like say we are to post pictures online and like put, what's it called? Something of the sort, something like captioning it, and like you put all that relevant info that it can pick from, then it would be a plus for everything. Yeah, so that was basically like a solution, posting pictures of Atapa or anything we are not seen on the internet.
Yes, in short, what Emma is saying, let's flood the internet with our, okay, sometimes, oftentimes get carried away with the idea of like, pictures have to be perfect, background has to be blurry, blah, blah, blah. But honestly, let me be honest, like the most viral videos you'll ever see are never shot on a red camera, they're never shot on what? It's a phone. They're even pixelated. You get? So sometimes the data collection comes online, and also there arises the opportunity of selling data as well. Like just collect your information, collect your archive of, works of artists here. Because if I asked you, like back in the day, there's a professor who published a book that has, back in the day, in the early 2000s, would see calendars of like presidents beefed up in commando suits, AK-47s and what. Do you see that nowadays? You can't, right? And where do we find it? You can't even find it anywhere. So if we had good documentation and place that on the internet, it would be easy to create such references and be like, guys, you know what? I want a calendar in the style of Museveni, has a marine fighter. You get? It will give you better references and stuff like that. So without wasting time, let's flood the internet. Let's, publish our work, because that is the only way that we can get known, and, it can pick up cultural references as well. But as well, collect your data, collect your information. And I think there are very many opportunities that are going to arise from data. Like just collect your data and have it. What if, ChatGPT comes to Africa and they're like, we want cultural references of Uganda. If you don't have a hat, if you don't have, what Nero-Rock paintings look like now, we have very bad documentation things by them. What do they look like right now? I don't know.
Just what he has said, we did a settlement for the Batwa people, the Pygmy, so-called Pygmy people, last year. So this year, after doing that settlement, a colleague of mine calls me and then there is a person who wants to actually also do research about that. So with that, all the information we gathered from the batwa and all that we knew, like, and we used for the design, like, it wasn't anywhere written. So like, people came and they wanted all this information. So when you pointed it out, I actually saw the action need here for the data.
I'm Sasule.
Sasure.
So
So
challenge is here.
challenge. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do this where I first like give my closing remarks because the challenge is what's gonna close. I don't want to talk after the challenge because it is like 8:30 and I like read that the thing that said we stop at 8:30. Did I read wrong? Okay, cool. First off, I am glad that all of us have come to the same conclusion. I was actually going to give us that assignment at the end. I was going to be like, all of us should now leave this place and flood the internet with things we would like the AI to know about us, about Africa, about Uganda, about our cultures. Why? Because AI never stopped learning. On the contrary, we now have the opportunity to be part of the people who teach the AI to define what it tells us. How we do this, just the same way we get a whole document, because for me I use AI to read terms and conditions a lot, because I'm not going to read those things. Summarizes them for me. Contracts, I just throw in them in there and it reads and it learns, and I keep referencing to that. The same way you can pick Ugandan literature and throw it there and use it, and it will. So we have the opportunity, and I think we can do that. We can feed it with information that we want to see. Right now, my Grammarly was correcting me about the spelling of Boyogere. It's not a lie. Because there was a section of add word back then when I was starting to use Grammarly. And since my account is still logged in, it now knows the word Boyogere. So I was typing it out and then it gave me the correction. I was like, oh, okay, yes. Just the same way that AI, that Grammarly tool has implemented AI to reach that point of learning without prompting of add word, it will learn with whatever you put in and reference it. Create those reference points. How you do it will vary. Some of us will throw things into ChatGPT. Some of us who are in communications will post on social because it's also now a place where you pick from. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a whole article on LinkedIn about the difference between Atapa and Kalo. I think the same thing. Yeah. So, okay.
The groups.
It has like the same thing. Okay, so I would like that. Anyway, now the groups, yes. I need a writer. Someone who is a writer. Just one person. Hi, Vicky. Hi, Vicky. I know that you're a writer because we used to write together. Yes. So, Vicky, thank you. Now I need the groups. I need 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 3. Group 1. But I don't want us to move like physically, eh? Because no, you have an AI wallpaper. Yo, we have got you. Anyway, and that's a very that's a very nice wallpaper. So this is what we're gonna do. We are going to gang up in these groups. One of us is going to open ChatGPT. I'm going to give you a scenario. I'm a client, and I want you to type in a prompt that you agree on as a group into ChatGPT. Then we see how different all your results will be. So that's what we're going to be doing. Are we ready? Okay, so are we ready to do it? We're about to get into the groups, but have we understood the assignment? Create the groups. Yes, over here. Okay, we have our groups. We have our groups. So hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good.
So as a writer, what is the hardest part of your job, or the part that gives you the most difficulty?
When I'm writing what exactly?
Let's say you are writing. What kind of writing do you do?
Fiction, non-fiction,
Okay.
The one I do more frequently maybe would be creating copy for posts on social media.
I like this very much. Creating copy for posts on social media. What kind of posts? For clients or like news? Because for me, I do news. I work in NBS.
So like I manage the Gandhi page. So when I'm posting a picture of a client, I have to come up with a caption for it. That's an example.
So guys, we're going to create a caption. Yeah? We're going to create a caption for the Gandhi page about this session. Yeah? It's about the AI session. We need to know a bit about Gandhi. You're going to tell us a bit. And then after that, we're going to write as we're still together? Eh? Yeah. Okay. We're going to write a caption. You're going to tell us a bit about Gandhi. And you're going to give us a general message. Then tell each one of us to prompt ChatGPT to write copy write a tweet. Okay. I tweet, not an X post, a tweet.
Okay.
So tell us a bit about Gandhi.
All right. So, let me give context for the post.
Give context for the
information. So imagine we are writing about this studio talk. The session is about AI. We have to appreciate Clifford as a speaker, Eric as a moderator, our partners, GZK, and to give people a feel of what the session was like.
Guys, have you got that? Okay.
So if we were putting a prompt,
it's okay. You can go ahead.
So if we were to put a prompt, say in ChatGPT, you would say caption for creative talk about AI hosted by a photography studio.
Okay, keep going.
Full stop.
Okay, yeah. Hosted by a photography studio. Have you gotten that far? Are we still typing? We've gotten that far? Okay. Okay. Butterfingers, it's okay. We are still with you. Any questions? Should we repeat any part of this? Okay, so caption.
Caption for a creative talk.
For a creative talk.
About AI.
About AI.
Hosted at a photography studio. Maybe we don't need to include that last.
No, it's fine. It's actually quite fine. Hosted by a photography studio. I'm gonna add in a few parameters. Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay. I'm going to add in okay. You guys, AI, you see, at the end of the day. No. That's where the twist is gonna come in. So now that you've reached this point, I want you to add something you believe is important for the reader to know. It may be something you saw. It may be, I noticed everyone here was a creative. There were no scientists. But add that extra piece of information. I want to see what each group comes up with. That information can be about the time. It can be about the questions that people had. It can be about the professions everyone here had. It can also be about fish. There was this guy called Fish. And he kept on. If any one of you also adds in a movie reference, it will be interesting because people mentioned Robocop, people mentioned Terminator. I would really want to see what these prompts say. Okay? By the way, now it's time to give you a timer because clearly you are typing forever. Okay, so 2 minutes left. 1 minute left, actually.
1 minute.
1 minute. People, we're done. Okay. So we need a representative to read to us the final post. You guys, don't edit your posts when you hear someone else read theirs. Actually, we might collect your phones. So we're over here. Guys,
let's keep quiet. Let's see what happened here.
This is what we've got. Exploring the merge of human and machine. It has given us a title of Exploring the Merge of Human and Machine, an unveiling of fears, hopes and the path forward at our captivating discussion on the fusion of human creativity and AI. We've navigated through the spectrum of emotions, fears, and visions for the future, from the depths of the myth of the machine to the heights of technological promise. We've pounded the essence of humanist, harmonious blend between human May I have somebody else read? Okay. Between human. Okay, it's about genius, ingenuity, and AI innovation. Amid these concerns lies aspirations as we embrace a future of fear and love intertwined, seeking a balance between the allure of technology and the warmth of human connection. Join us on this journey of discovery as we illuminate the roadmap towards a better tomorrow, where amidst AI advancements, the embracement of human touch becomes a beacon once more.
Okay. I have a suggestion. All of you who still have your phones, shorten shorten.
Short.
So everyone can say shorten to 128 characters.
Yeah, madam.
Yours is short too. After, go and straight there.
Ours is
Conundrum.
exploring the AI conundrum. Friend O 4. Grateful to Cliff for steering an insightful discussion on the complexities of artificial intelligence during our creative talk at Agandi Studio.
So I just read what I. Okay. Grateful for everyone who joined our enlightening discussion at Agandi Studio, exploring AI creativity in photography. Our expert panel delved into AI's impact on artistic expression and the future of visual storytelling. Hashtag AI, hashtag photography, hashtag creativity.
That sounds like fish.
Okay, so it says Agandi Studio's creative minds gathered for a riveting studio talk today, exploring the dynamic relationship between AI and creativity. Is it a friend unlocking new possibilities or a foe challenging the essence of human expression? Hashtag AI and creativity, hashtag studio talk.
Okay, so I already said my final remarks. I'm glad that we have these. So we are going to post these. If you still have your phone, just make the tweet more colloquial. I want all of you to see how it changes.
Spell for them colloquial.
Spelling. Okay. What does colloquial do? You're about to see. So make the tweet. By the way, one of the things I noticed is it will correct my grammar. I don't know the spelling of colloquial. C-O, is it Q? Collo. Double L-O? Someone help us. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. No, it's okay. So with that, what does colloquial mean? Casual and fun, younger, cool. You're seeing it now, eh? Yeah. No, I just used English. Why? Because it's an English tool. Anyway. Thank you so much for inviting me over to speak to you guys. I've learned a lot of new things. I've learned new AIs. Thank you, Emily, for Blue Mail. I liked it. It's not an advert. One of the things I want us to leave here with is knowing what you want to do with the AI. That's why I didn't come here with a list of AI tools you should download. Yeah. You just need to know what you want to do with the AI and identify one that can help you get to do that. At the end of the day, you have to know how to do the thing and what you want to see, because you are the creative. With that, this guy has been an awesome moderator. Imagine if
today has been a day for speaking English. We have learned new words, colloquial. Anyway, it's been a great studio talk, and we thank our sponsors, Gotha Zentrum, for having us tonight, and having such. The word has gone, but anyway, thank you, Gotha Zentrum, for having us this time round, and yeah, have a good night.